What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new reaction. I'm sorry about sounding like Squidward this entire video, but your boy's just still getting over being sick, still getting over the Rona, and I got a lot going on up here. A lot of congestion, okay? But today, we're talking about somewhere I can't go yet. No, I'm still quarantined, cannot leave the house, but today we're talking about grocery stores. 5 ways British and American grocery stores are very different now. Grocery stores, they're one of my favorite places, okay? They got food in them. I like food, so I like going to the grocery store. So I'm pretty interested to see what the differences are gonna be between our two grocery stores. So we're about to get into it. If y'all are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Try and hit 100K once we do me the UK theme tattoo. Drop a like if you want to see more reactions like this. But other than that, let's get into it.
So next time you're in the other country, why not play a game of, oh look, it's that thing we have back home, but they call it something wildly different. Isn't this fun? Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to grocery stores, or should I say, supermarkets, because that's what we call them in the UK. Weirdly, I've been doing this channel now for about nearly 5 years, and I don't think I've really ever touched on the major differences between grocery stores and supermarkets. That is probably because the nauseating experience of walking around said stores is second only to malls. I'll be honest with you, we get our shopping delivered. Haven't had to walk into a grocery store in about 3 years. But I did do some research, so it's fine. And so without further ado, let's take a look at 5 big ways that British and American grocery stores / supermarkets are so very, very different.
See, I think starting out, it should have been that y'all call y'all supermarkets and we call ours grocery stores, because to me, those are like super interchangeable. Like, if you say let's go to the supermarket, I know that we're pretty much going to the grocery store. You say grocery store, we're pretty much going to the supermarket. Like, I guess if you really broke it down, to me, like a grocery store would be like, I don't even know, like a Kroger or like a Save-A-Lot. Like a place where like, you strictly go just for food and that's all they have is strictly food. But then like a supermarket would be like a Walmart or like a Target, a place where like you can go buy food, but you could also like buy a new set of tires for your car if you needed to. Like, that would be like a supermarket to me.
Yes, layout. As you can probably imagine, the layout of American grocery stores tends to be slightly different to that of Britain, but that makes sense. I mean, the United States itself is laid out quite differently to Britain. I don't just mean it's a different shape, I mean it incorporates different shapes. I did a video on this. Basically, America is obsessed with rectangles. Anyway, that's not connected to today's video. I think this difference might have changed a little bit in recent years. For instance, it's a common practice in both countries now to put the fresh veg right near the entrance section to give this illusion of health as you walk in, and then you walk over to the chocolate and everything falls apart. But other than that, as you're walking around the stores in both countries, you will see the odd difference, sometimes very odd difference. So for instance, in some British grocery stores / supermarkets, you know, you might find the eggs not in the dairy section. What's that all about? And since I've moved to America, that seems to make sense, right? It's with the cheese, it's with the milk, the whipped cream, and sort of genre-wise, that does make sense. But sometimes you will find things like eggs just, you know, hanging around with the beans in England, and not refrigerated either. That's a shocking thing for a lot of Americans when they see that.
See, I think that it makes sense though, because like y'all are gonna use eggs for different meals and like for different stuff than we would. Like, it's with our milk and stuff, because it's like, it's kind of just a thing. Like, when you go to the grocery store, pick up some milk and pick up some eggs. Like, it's so, having them right next to each other is kind of convenient. But y'all probably not going to use eggs or something as much. Or like, if you're going to use it, you're going to use it for, with the beans for like the English breakfast or something like that. So like, I guess it's kind of just like a convenience thing.
Section might be found in a different spot to where you'd find it in US grocery stores. Across both countries though, it's always going to differ, especially depending on the actual store itself. So keep an eye out for that. And kind of connected to layout is our next entry. I've said it before and I'll say it again, size is not everything, though you probably wouldn't believe that if you saw the difference between UK supermarkets and American grocery stores. I used to think as a kid that whenever my mum would drag me around Asda, which is one of our major supermarkets, that particular supermarket was absolutely huge. And then I moved to America and I was equally dragged around Walmart. And in recent years, the comparison between the two has become quite apt, and that is because Walmart owns Asda. But the fact remains that Asda, most of them anyway, are not located within their own zip code, postcode. Whereas Walmart, it might as well have its own zip code. They're absolutely huge. They're so large, in fact, that just walking around the perimeter is enough for your weekly exercise. Which I suppose is good considering all of the calories that you're about to buy. And because Walmart, and to a lesser extent Kroger, are absolutely massive, that means you have the following.
Well, and it's like, bro, there's so many different types of Walmarts too. Like, there's just like the regular Walmarts, then there's the super Walmarts, then there's like a super duper Walmart, then there's like the Walmart markets. Like, there's so many different ones too, and they're all huge.
In the United Kingdom, nationwide, you've got the likes of Sainsbury's, Tesco, Morrison's, Asda. So we have choice in that regard, but once you get inside the stores, we probably don't have quite as much to offer as the United States, who, for instance, provide you with about 27 varieties of Coca-Cola. I haven't tried them all, in fact, I've barely tried any of them, but the rule seems to be that the brighter the packaging, the more varieties there'll be, and also the brighter the packaging, the least healthy it'll be. So to reiterate, American aisles have more variety than British aisles. That was a joke, wordplay. British Isles, you got it. Walmart has such variety, you can even buy auto parts. They're usually at the back of the store, which is not the best place between you and me, because what if you're buying a big hefty tyre? How are you going to get that out? You could roll it, that's true. In fact, that sounds amazing. I might.
Well, a lot of Walmarts, they have a tire like shop in the back. Like, you can go pull around and get your tires changed, get them rotated, you can get an oil change, you can do all kinds of stuff in the back of Walmart. Yeah, it's crazy.
That next time I'm in Walmart, I've just remembered I'm never going back in a Walmart, so we're good. And I don't drive. And speaking of purchases, once you get to the till/cash register, there's another chief difference between our two countries. I have to admit, this one got me long before I moved to the United States. When I was visiting the state of Maine in 2004, I walked into a music shop, as you do. I much prefer music shops to supermarkets anyway, and I purchased a ukulele. I think I talked about this very recently, and in doing so, of course, I looked at the price, $15, which is cheap for, I mean, don't ever do that again. It was good while it lasted, but it didn't last very long. So I took it to the counter expecting to pay exactly that in three $5 bills, only to be told, $17.32. I mean, I'm making that number up in hindsight. I didn't really get where that additional $2 came from. And it turns out that sales tax is applied at the point of sale, whereas in the United Kingdom, what you see on the price tag in the aisle itself is exactly what you'll pay for that item, so there's no surprises when you get to the till. I should say that, I think in England, even when I'd go grocery shopping, I didn't calculate in my head each item as I went along, so I never really had a great idea about what that total was going to be anyway. It's usually when you're just purchasing single items, this problem first arises.
It just makes so much more sense though, like, add the sales tax to it already so I know what I'm going to pay. So, like, just in case you don't have that much money and you're trying to, budget it out, you know exactly what you're going to pay. Like, I wish that was something the US would change and, like, pick up from the UK, but, like, I don't think they ever will, because people are going to be more likely to buy something that says $1.99 than, like, $2.12. Like, they feel like they're saving money just by looking at it and seeing $1.99 compared to $2.12. Like, it's just a thing. They want to sell more.
But anybody that's visiting America from the UK who usually doesn't give a second thought to VAT, you will have to give thought to sales tax, which is kind of the equivalent here of VAT. And like I said, that sales tax is not applied to the whole store before you even go in. You'll see it applied to your receipt after the fact. It's not a huge deal. I got used to it, after a couple of years. One thing I'm still getting used to, though, is our final entry. Yes, brand differences, and I'm not talking about, this particular brand that you simply can't get an equivalent of in the UK. No, I'm talking about the exact same object, or typically food item, that has the same font and everything and look about it, but a completely different name. Take, for instance, Axe versus Lynx. They're deodorants, don't eat them.
What the
I'm
heck?
not suggesting these are all food items, but if you are a 14-year-old boy, you know what Axe deodorant is. Or Lynx. They are exactly the same thing. They both have an X in it, much like an inordinate amount of brand differences, actually. You've got TJ Maxx versus TK Maxx. You've got ExxonMobil versus Esso. You've got Dove versus Galaxy. Alexa, what are they going to change your name to? I don't have Alexa. That was just a joke. But if you're from the US and you go over to the UK and you're walking around the shopping aisles and you're looking out for crisps/potato chips, and you see one that looks a little bit like Lay's. Lay's, the American crisp company. It'll be called Walker's, but it has the exact same font. Everything else about it is the same.
Why do they do that? Like, why do they change just the name of it if they're gonna keep the font and the colors and the logo exactly the same? Like, why?
Some of the flavours, bear that in mind. And some of the chocolate seems to live in an entirely different universe. Literally, in some cases, like I said before, the British Galaxy Bar is Dove in America, Milky Way is Three Musketeers, and Mars is Milky Way. It's all...
What? Wait a minute. Run that back. Y'all call your Three Musketeers a Milky Way? Huh?
Milky Way is Three Musketeers, and Mars is Milky Way.
Wow.
It's all one star cluster of monumental
What the heck?
differences. And of course, there are absolutely loads. So next time you're in the other country, why not play a game of, oh look, it's that thing we have back home, but they call it something wildly different. Isn't this fun?
Huh.
You know, you might get bored after a while. But send me your pictures. It will be amazing. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below some of the observations you've made over the differences between...
Do y'all have self-checkouts? I feel like y'all probably have self-checkouts, right? As long as they're self-checkouts, I'm good. Like, I just don't want to wait in line and actually have to talk to people when I go to the grocery store. But alright guys, that is going to do it for the 5 ways British and American grocery stores are very different. I'm sure there's some other differences, so if y'all know some that maybe he didn't say in the video, let me know down in the comments. I'm still confused with the whole Milky Way Three Musketeer thing. Like, why? Why? But if y'all want to see more reactions like this, let me know by hitting that like button. If y'all are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Try to hit 100k once we do me a UK themed tattoo. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to go out today, spread the love, spread kindness, do something nice for somebody today. I love you guys so much, I really do. JT Rex, I'm out. Peace.